First and foremost, as a disclaimer for this particular video, this is not an overnight process. Not at all. This is not overnight for anybody because, overnight process for broken heart does not exist. You know, it just takes time. Everything takes time, and everybody needs time to heal. So that's, in essence, what it's like regarding a broken heart. You're going to need time to heal, but there is a way that can be done, in time. So don't overwhelm yourself. Uh, yeah, but just to name a few things. Um, Rediscover your happiness. That's one thing about healing from a broken heart. You gotta rediscover your happiness. Someone asks where I'm from. I'm from St. Louis. Uh, yeah, but one aspect, one tip I can give everyone from for healing from a broken heart per se is yeah, one is to rediscover your happiness. You have to rediscover your happiness. You know, I think about that a lot because, and oftentimes you go through a lot of things like um, a broken heart. You might not necessarily understand the happiness aspect that you need to rediscover. I see one of my moderators in the building, Unique, and I keep forgetting that this is a spaceship channel, so we in a spaceship, not the building, but we can be in a space station, Reality XM, reported live from the mothership. Okay, but yeah, one aspect, one tip of healing from a broken heart is definitely rediscovering your happiness. You have to think about that a lot because you have to go back to a lot of things that were making you happy before the heartbreak, before you ran into someone that got you that way. So you have to keep that in mind. By the way, Unique, if you can, just uh, put a one in the chat if I sound good. I got this headset on just so the sound can be a little bit better so that it doesn't echo. I got the studio room, but it's like I'm still trying to get my sound around me to sound better. You gave me a one in the chat. Thank you so much, Unique. Somebody else gave me a one in the chat. I appreciate that. Let's get off to the second point of healing from heartbreak. A second tip I can give y'all: regeneration of health. That's the thing: regeneration of health and no negativity. So, health on all fronts, whether it's the physical, whether it's the nutritional, even the financial, the mental, the emotional. You want to regenerate health. Now, this is not just necessarily talking about restoring your health. You want to basically get to the point of where this is an ongoing thing. This is not just a phase, it's an ongoing thing. You want to get to that point because it has to be a regeneration. And like when you think of regeneration, it's ongoing. So that's the main thing. You want to always keep that in mind when you are trying to heal from a broken heart is the regeneration. So keep that in mind. But yeah, the main thing is no negativity because that will kind of hold back the regeneration. The third point regarding healing from a broken heart is the third tip is don't become bitter, regardless of what took place, regardless of how your broken heart took place. Don't become bitter. Don't let that person think they got one over on you. Even if they had you feeling down and out because you cared and you loved them, you had a lot of love for them. You don't become bitter because of it. Don't become bitter. Don't hold anything against the person that made you have a heartbreak per se, or the person that your heartbreak was a result of. Okay. Um, don't become bitter. You gotta just believe that a lot's going on with them. Like the good old book says, it says, forgive them for they know not what they do. Because if people knew better, they would do better. So no matter how they might think they did something to you, If they knew better, they would do better. Like, I like what Aaliyah said. She said in her song, Tired of My Heart Being Broken, she said, when will you realize that I have feelings too? But you'll never know until it happens to you. So that's why it's important that you don't become bitter, because that person hasn't even been through their own heartbreak themselves for them to even know that they should consider that you have feelings too. Okay. So that's the third point, or the third tip. Moving on to the fourth tip of healing from a heartbreak. Let me see. Start living and loving yourself better. Okay. So that kind of goes back to the first point or the second point, as far as rediscovering your happiness as well as regeneration of health. Okay. But you have to start loving yourself better, because you've never done that. And you have to love yourself more because you've never done that. You've been doing that for everybody else except for you. The person you need to start loving the most is yourself. Now, they talk about self love. I say love self. That's why I said, start living and loving yourself more versus self love. Self love is very selfish. Love and self is very selfless. You dedicating yourself to you, restoring yourself. That's going to help you regarding the regeneration. When you've had a heartbreak, you have to go back to start loving yourself more. Because obviously the person that called themselves trying to break your heart, they didn't love you like that. And they didn't know better, because if they knew better, they would do better. So, it goes back to that too. But you can do something about it for you. And that is just, yeah, it's time for you to start doing some things that you couldn't even do with that person that allegedly broke your heart. So go back to that. Okay. Um, Fifth point, prepare and strive for better. So while you're trying to take better care of yourself, start setting more goals for yourself. Don't set plans. I always be big on that because plans change. But you can set goals so that those goals don't change regardless of whatever plans might change along the way. You still have these set goals for your life that you probably have never set before. I speak from personal experience. I'm a late bloomer to a lot of things in life, but these are like, that is based on goals that I set many years ago, despite of the things that I had to deal with along the way. And I'm starting to achieve some of these goals that I've had for many years in the making. And yeah, some heartbreaks came along my way, but I still had these goals that I had in mind. So keep that in mind, because that actually can be a good outlet for you. And there might be a blessing in disguise when there was something you just always wanted to do, but now you finally got a chance to do that because you're starting to see some air clear. And you start to realize that heartbreak was not the end of the world for you. It's actually the beginning of the world for you. Sixth point. This is a sixth point, my sixth point, if you will, regarding tips for healing from a broken heart. And by the way, I did a short video on this here at this channel. I've also put it on other platforms, and it just gave you an idea of like, hey, heartbreak is not what people think it is, and it's not really about moving on. You're just trying to move along, and you're trying to move forward, because you never quite move on from a heartbreak, but you can move along. You can move forward. I say that because a heartbreak is like a scar. It's going to be there. You'll see it. You don't have to be reminded of it. You don't have to look at it, but it is there, and you will see it from time to time. But you will heal from that scar to where it does become less visible over time. So this video kind of stems from that short clip that I did here at this channel, because that's the main thing. You got to heal. People often talk about heartbreak, and they be like, yo, how do I deal with this? And you can't get over that person. Well, you can't get over that person because you're still healing. Okay. So people get me when they say it. You got to heal. So getting over a person, that really is almost like oxymoronic. Okay. Like getting over. No, you're getting away, literally. Like you're going the opposite way. And that's going to take time. Okay. Like, but you're trying to keep that behind you. That takes time, but you will build distance over time eventually as you continue to move forward and move in the opposite direction. How about that? But yeah, this sixth point, the sixth tip for healing from a heartbreak is go back to what you used to know and where you used to go before the heartbreak. I've sort of talked about that earlier in this video as far as rediscovering your happiness. But it's just adding more layers to it because you just got to go back to a lot of the things that you were doing and kind of rekindle some of those things because those things might actually be what you need to get by, you know. So, excuse me for a few seconds. Still talking, by the way. You said unique. It takes time to move along from a person because you're grieving and it's like death when that person is no longer there, especially when you truly love them. Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think I have final point here. Final point here. This is try to make this video short, sweet to the point. Uh, Possible relocation or at least take a vacation regarding a heartbreak. Sometimes you might have to move to a new environment to start over, to just at least be somewhere where you can breathe different and just don't have to be around the same environments that reminded you of the heartbreak that you had, okay? Because it might lead you to want to just self-delete, okay? You might want to give up on life. So start a new life in a new environment. How about that? But you can also just take a vacation if it doesn't require relocation for you. Take a vacation. Nothing wrong with that. But you need to be able to do these things in order to start that healing process. So it's important that, you know, regarding heartbreak, you immediately start thinking about how to heal. And like I said, as my disclaimer, this isn't overnight, but this is something that you eventually start to uh, realize that you have to do because you want to move forward. Like you do believe in yourself still. Just by realizing you need to heal is you believing in yourself, okay? So, but I'd say this because uh, I've talked about a lot of things within time regarding things. So I'll just say this. It takes about 10 years to heal from past hurt. 10 years. 10 years. We have to be very cautious and careful. There should be a vetting stage, but I believe personally vetting should only occur when you two are connected, not for strangers, because you don't know if they're going to come and go. And the way the vetting goes for the feminine versus the masculine is not the same thing, and it's not to be compared, you know. So, but we're not talking about vetting in this particular video. I just wanted to say that just regarding the 10 years it takes for you to heal from heartbreak, you got to think about the lack of vetting that was occurring back in those days that led to a lot of the different heartbreaks that you had. Okay, so moving forward, you want to get better at the vetting aspect so that you can have a less likelihood of a heartbreak. Because you got to think about every person you've had a heartbreak from. You know, just say two people. I said what it takes 10 years from you for you to heal from hurt. Now you add a second person, that's 20 years. So you got 20 years to heal from hurt. That yo, and we only got so long to live on this planet in this realm here. And you got the many heartbreaks. For some people, heartbreak will last a lifetime because Unique said basically travel more, move or relocate to fresh starts so you can heal more effectively and efficiently. Correct. Yes. So you definitely got to do that. You got to move with the pain, act like it don't hurt. I know that's easier said than done, but that's exactly what you have to do. You know, and I speak from experience. So I'm not telling y'all something I don't know. Okay. Um, but yeah, it takes 10 years on average. And y'all can look this up. Y'all ain't got to take my word for it. But 10 years to heal from past hurt on average. Okay. Contrary to popular belief, you can still have new interests while healing. So don't let nobody tell you that you can't get into a new relationship until you get over the old relationship. That's not true. If you're healing, there's nothing wrong with you having a new interest while you're healing. You said you need. Does a person truly heal from heartbreak if they don't have true love in their life? Uh, yeah, that's a good question. I would say that it's like a cavity. You get rid of the cavity, but you got to put something in there to fill the void of that cavity. You can't just have a bare tooth after you remove the cavity. You have to put something there to fill that void, or else you're just going to end up with another cavity. So To answer your question, Unique, yeah, without love, you won't fully heal. So yeah, you need to heal, and then you need to, work on eventually finding better love, or actually real love, because back then that wasn't real love, and that's how you got the heartbreak in the first place. No pun intended, but yeah, you can still have a new interest while healing. Actually, that's the best time to find a new interest is while you're healing, because you get to see if that person is actually empathetic for you or not. Okay, so you get to see that, you get to wonder, you get to discover, you get to find out. It's nothing wrong with you trying to have a new interest while you're healing. Key is while you're healing. You got people that jump from pillar to post, that jump from person to person, but that person hasn't really healed, or they haven't really been through real heartbreak. And you could tell because it just shows in the way they carry themselves. You could tell by their behavior as they go from relationship to relationship. They're not really healing. They're not dealing with anything. They're hiding. They're concealing. Keep that in mind. Um, it just you just got to make sure that that new interest is for your healing and not adding to the hurt that's been on your heart. Basically, they're not adding insult to injury or adding salt to the wound. You got to make sure they're that type of person if you're going to have a new interest while you're still healing from the previous heartbreak. You got to make sure they're actually going to help you heal too. They're trying to show new things in your life. They're trying to just have you in a better place. You said Unique, understood, because yes, love conquers all. So without having true love, it's just a feeling of emptiness, right? That's it. Facts. Yeah, you just got to make sure you have the right person in your life helping you to heal, because if not, it just will double the time it takes for you to actually heal. Going back to how I said, like, one person is equal to 10 years of healing for heartbreak. Every person that you meet, I don't care if that person is good for you, every person you meet has 10 years worth of heartbreak you'll have to deal with if y'all two were to separate. If there was any sign of you having love for that person, that's a risk that you take with everybody that you meet. That's what they don't tell you, though. I'm telling you that here tonight at Reality XM.